Hello everybody, good morning. It is 1:10 in the morning, and it is officially, well, it's been officially, the next day. I got the story for y'all today, and I'll get on right that, and I guess I will be able to finish the Fight for Love story, for you guys. So, yeah, I'll get on that. Chapter 18, Spike. The next morning, something was missing. There was a massive hole in Twilight's heart. She didn't know what was going on. It was like she had lost something dear to her. She got up straight away, not even bothering to put clothes on. She burst into Spike's room, nothing but her underwear. There was a lamp under his bed, shaped like his body, but it wasn't moving an inch. She ran over and pulled the covers off of him. The sight before her nearly made her sick. Spike was on his back, staring straight up at the ceiling. His eyes were wide open. She climbed on the bed and poked his body, his cold, unmoving body. She got her hands underneath his body, and that's when she felt the warm liquid. She dragged him off the wet patch. Blood met her gaze, and she gasped. He had no wound. How could he be bleeding? And then she thought, maybe it was Spike's disease. There was a reason Spike could receive letters through his mouth. It was a curse. It was a curse that was put on him. Maybe he could have sent a knife into himself. But why would he do that? Spike wasn't suicidal. Spike couldn't be suicidal, could he? Rarity's phone rang. She answered it gracefully. All she could hear was deep breathing and crying on the other end. She instantly became interested. More drama. How much drama was going on in the past few weeks? Hello, Rarity said in her most innocent voice. Rarity, come to the hospital. Quickly, the person said, and then hung up. It was a female voice. Rarity could tell that. It was Twilight. Why did Twilight want her at the hospital? What had gone on? Rarity bounced up from the bed and put on her tight, curved, huge white dress with the diamonds on the side. She slipped on some straggy black heels and headed out the front door. She saw Sweetie Belle in the corner. Her eyes were shouted that she'd been back soon. She clambered into her car and drove quickly to the hospital. Rainbow Dash was in the hospital. Could something be wrong with her? Or was it someone else? Rarity had no idea what was going on, and she loved it. Once she arrived at the hospital, she parked her car and nearly ran it. But she maintained her posture and walked like a lady. Eventually she made it in and saw Twilight. She tapped on her shoulder and Twilight jumped. Rarity, come quick, she said, running off. Could that girl not stay still? Rarity quickly walked to catch up with her. She was waiting outside her room. and when Rarity came into sight, she bounced into Rarity. She bounced into it. Rarity rolled her eyes and walked in. Spike was laying on the bed, hooked up to loads of machines and only just breathing. He was asleep. Spike! Yes. He was dead for a while. I called the ambulance, and they saved him just in time. I sent himself a knife through his curse. He cut a lot of stuff in his throat. What could have led him to this? She asked suddenly. Spike's eyes opened. Fuck! He screamed, sitting up and trying to pull out all the machines. Spike, you'll kill yourself! Twilight screamed. That's the point, bitch! He screamed. Her mouth fell open, and he tried to rip out all the wires. Spike, calm down, she said softly. He looked up and snarled. It all started with you, he screamed. Her mouth dropped open too. What did I do? She asked. You had to go and get fucking kidnapped. If you hadn't done that, I wouldn't have gotten with Rainbow Dash at all. This pain wouldn't have happened. He screamed. The doctors started coming in. Dr. Betty Moran came in and told the others to tie him down. Are you telling me it's all my fault for getting kidnapped? Rarity asked. Yes, you bitch! He screamed. Rarity opened her mouth, but Twilight put her hand on her shoulder. How dare Spike speak to her like that? Come on, Rarity, let's go. Twilight said. Rarity nodded and stormed out of the room. Yeah, bitch, you better go. She heard Spike scream while the doctors were holding him down. Fluttershy was sitting in a tree. Just a normal tree. Her legs hung daintily, and she watched the grass blow through the wind. She sighed. Brewburn was an amazing lad. She loved him with all her heart. She really did. But she had cheated on him. She couldn't be with him. She was a disgrace. Suddenly, something tapped her on the shoulder. She screamed and nearly fell out of the tree. Her eyes met Derpy. She had one major lazy eye, but Fluttershy could ignore it. Hey, Fluttershy! My, what are you doing in this tree? She asked. Fluttershy smiled. Just thinking, she whispered. About? You do know Brewburn has been looking everywhere for you, right? He's worried sick, she said. Fluttershy's eyes widened. Seriously? Derpy, you gotta tell me. You gotta tell him that I'm okay, she shouted, although it wasn't really a shout. Fluttershy couldn't shout that loud. I can't, Flutter. I'm all mail round, she said proudly, holding up a package. Here, it's for you, she said. Fluttershy took the package, and Derpy took a bite of a muffin that Fluttershy hadn't noticed before. Thanks, Derpy. Just if you see him, tell him I'm okay, she said. Derpy nodded. Of course, Fluttershy, she said, hopping down out of the tree. Derpy really was something. She loved delivering mail. Fluttershy found it quite adorable. And her daughter, Ditzy, was just the cutest. Applejack didn't like them that much. Fluttershy didn't know why, but whenever Rainbow Dash was caught talking to Derpy, Applejack would get all weird. It was strange. Fluttershy, calm down, a deep voice said. She turned to meet the eyes of Bluebird. "Hey," she whispered. "I just ran into Derpy. She told me that you were here. Come on, Fluttershy. We need to sort this out." He said. Fluttershy shook her head. "Bluebird, no. I betrayed you. You shouldn't waste your time with me," she whispered. Bluebird laughed. "I don't care if you betrayed me. I'm willing to forgive you and forget. If it means I can have my Fluttershy back, so be it," he said. She looked him in the eyes and smiled. "Okay," she said. "Yay!" he whispered, immediately imitating Fluttershy. She laughed, and then jumped down straight into Bluebird's arms. She wrapped her arms around his neck, folding her legs around his waist, and kissing him, and warmth spread throughout her body. He was the one for her. He always has been. "I love you," she said. Well, every pony, 3 more chapters to go, and we'll be done with the story. Man, this adventure of the fight for love has been really amazing. I love this story. This story is awesome. And as Rainbow Dash would say in one of the episodes, where she was in the hospital and reading the book of Daring Do, or Daring Dash, I think. Awesome! I love this story. I truly, truly love this story. This story is the greatest story I've read. Well, that is an aside of the story on fanfiction.net called Curse of the Werepony. If y'all want, I'm gonna read that story. I'm going to read that story, okay? I'm going to read that story after I'm done with this story. So, yeah. See you every pony later. Bye-bye.